how to navigate trauma in your relationships. And until you learn how to do this, you'll continue to repeat the same patterns, experience the same triggers and fights and arguments, and continue this in all of your relationships until you understand what I'm about to teach you. I'm going to give you the steps today, the scripts today of what to do to actually understand what's playing out in your relationships, what trauma is, how to find it, and how to navigate it in a healthy way. If that interests you, please pay attention, take some notes today. It's going to be a banger conversation. If you're not aware on who I am, my name is Lewis Huckstep. I'm a coach, I'm an author, I'm a speaker. I help people find their life's purpose, their true authentic self, create a life that they love, and heal their trauma. And that shows up in relationships a lot. So, if I could ask one massive favor before I go straight into the content today, if you could just like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. It helps so much more than you realize. It shares it to more people. I get to help more people and I get to impact the world, and it costs you 5 seconds of your time. And leave a comment down below. I try to get back to every single comment as well. With that being said, let's begin. So let's start it off. What is trauma? There's a couple definitions that I love about this. I love Dr. Gabor Mate. He says, trauma is not what happens to you, it's what happens inside of you. Mwah! Beautiful definition. I love Dr. Sarah Woodhouse. She says, trauma is unprocessed memories. Great answer. I love Dr. John Demartini. He says, anything you can't have gratitude for or have love for is baggage. Anything you can is fuel. Great answer. My definition of trauma. It's a moment in time when something was too much or not enough. And it's going to be something specific. I'm going to give you very practical steps today. Trauma is something specific. It's a behavior or a character trait that was too much or not enough. What are some examples? It could be rejection, abandonment, judgment, criticism, anger, lying, controlling, manipulation, dismissed. There's so many words that could be. There are 4,628 traits that human beings can display or do. So when you go through your life and you experience a painful experience, when someone did or didn't do a trait that was painful, you take a snapshot. That's what trauma is. You create a perception that a trait or a behavior is bad or wrong, shouldn't have happened. Let's use an example. I'm going to give you a practical exercise right now so you can use your answers for this entire conversation today. If you've done this exercise with me before, certainly do it again, or you can use someone else for the exercise. So what I want you to do, I want you to think of your parents. Now, don't judge your answers. Just speak your truth. Be authentic. Just say whatever comes up for you, okay? I want you to think of your dad or whoever played that role for you. Now, in a one-word answer, what is the one thing that you dislike most about this person? Even if you love your dad, even if he's passed away, even if he wasn't there, use whoever played the role and answer the question. What's the one thing you dislike most about this person? It may be anger, controlling, manipulation, victim, weak. Many different words could come up, right? I want you to answer that 3 times. 3 separate one-word answers. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to think of your answers. Once you've done that, I want you to go over to mum and do the same thing. Now, even if you love this person, still answer the question. What's the one thing that you dislike most about this person? Again, it will be a character trait or a behavior of hers, something that she did or didn't do. Pause the video, try find some words. Once you've got some words, you don't need all 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 is perfect, okay? Those words that you came up with, those are moments in time when someone, in this case your parents, did or didn't do something that was painful. It was too much. It was not enough for you. And then if you've followed my content, I talk about these 3 things all the time. Trauma, which is what we just spoke about. Second is coping mechanisms. Third is triggers. So trauma is the thing that happened to you or didn't happen to you. Second is coping mechanisms. This is what you do to overcome, protect, hide the trauma. So that could look like people pleasing, dissociating, eating food, smoking a cigarette, overworking, not having firm boundaries, hating men or women. There's many things you could do to overcompensate. You might get angry, you might get anxious, you might get depressed. There's certain patterns that we develop to overcome, protect, and hide the trauma. Third is a trigger. Something reminds you of the trauma and activates the coping mechanism. Nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you. So think of those words. that you came up with for mum and dad, whatever those words were. When someone does these things to you, it will trigger you. Interesting, eh? When people do these things or display these things, it triggers you into some form of pattern. Anger, frustration, disassociation, you eat food, you run away, you hide. This also ties into the attachment styles. I've done videos on that, so go watch that later. But the reason I'm teaching this to you guys today is because every single relationship you get into will mirror or reveal your trauma. Let that sink in for a moment. Every single relationship you get into will reveal your shit. Technical term, right? Why? Because of proximity. You guys see me through this video. If you met me in person, you see me in person. Maybe you come to an in-person event. I do events, by the way. Come hang out. But you don't know me to the full depths that my wife does. She sees most parts of me that no one else gets to see. Now, I try to be vulnerable and authentic and transparent. I've shared my insecurities, my shame, my trauma on camera to try to be vulnerable and connect with you guys and show that I'm a fucking human just like you. But you don't see all of those parts to me to the same degree that my wife does. Now, because of that proximity of being in a relationship, they're going to reflect or mirror or trigger or reveal the trauma within you. Nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you. So, this is the lesson that you gotta fucking learn if you want a meaningful relationship. If you want a shallow relationship where you just suppress things, you don't speak what's on your mind, you suppress stuff, and you just don't want to have deep quality intimacy, ignore this conversation. You probably won't like my content. You can probably unfollow me if you want to. But if you want real depth, real connection, real intimacy, great fucking passion and love in a relationship, you can't avoid this. You will get triggered. Show me a single fucking relationship where no one's triggered. I'm yet to find one. So, because that's the fact that you will be mirroring each other, you're going to trigger each other. If you don't learn how to navigate these wounds together as a team, you're going to ruin your relationships. Do you know anyone, not you obviously, but maybe it's you, someone gets into a relationship, it may be you, and the relationship doesn't work out. And the person blames the partner. They were narcissistic, they were rude, they were condescending, they were dismissive, they were lying, they were controlling, they were all these things, which is just a list of trauma, just so you guys know. And the person blaming takes no responsibility. It's all the other person's fault. It's not them, it's the other person. Then they get into another relationship and the same fucking shit happens. They keep attracting the same mirrors into their life to reveal the shit within them that they haven't addressed yet. And until you take the responsibility and ownership that nothing triggers you, it reveals what's inside of you, you're going to keep repeating the same patterns. You repeat the same patterns until you learn the lessons that it's there to teach you. Interesting, right? So, what do we do about this? It's about 3 steps that I talk about in relationships, conscious relationships, okay? So when I say relationships, I'm referring to conscious, intimate relationships, not shallow, shitty relationships, because I'm not teaching you how to do that. I'm teaching you how to have deep, conscious, intimate relationships. So to have that, you need 3 things. Number 1, both partners take absolute ownership and responsibility over their own shit. Triggers, trauma, insecurities, fears, limiting beliefs, everything. Because if you don't do this, then you're going to project, blame, play victim, and give all your power away to your partner. And say one partner takes ownership and one partner doesn't, the partner who takes ownership is going to grow, they're going to heal, they're going to evolve, and the other partner is not going to. Then you create this huge gap and disconnection between both partners. Because the partner healing and growing is going to see their partner's stuff, because that's what you do when you start your journey, right? If you've started your self-growth journey, you'll start to understand what I'm saying. You'll understand that your perception is a projection. What you judge in others or get triggered by in others is revealing something you haven't worked on. That's the trigger. That's the trauma that we're referring to. So the partner healing and growing will see their partner's shit and want to help them because you love them. But the partner not taking ownership is going to get fucking pissed off and frustrated that your partner keeps trying to change you, keeps trying to heal you. And the partner will say, I've got nothing to work on. You're just trying to control me. You're trying to change me. And if you know, you know, because you've been there. Fucking shit, isn't it? So step one, both partners individually take responsibility and ownership over their shit. Okay, technical term. Number two, step two, both partners have clarity for their vision for their relationship. What's their dream relationship look like? And are fundamentally aligned with the non-negotiables. A non-negotiable is you would leave this person if you weren't aligned. Now, there's a bit of gray with this step because you need to be realistic. If you have an unrealistic expectation that your partner is never emotional, they never get triggered, they have no problems, they're quote perfect in the sense that they have all upsides, no downsides, that doesn't fucking exist. You're living in a fantasy. Doesn't exist. I have downsides to me. You have downsides to you. So expecting your partner to be one-sided is bullshit. It's an illusion. There is no such thing as a one-sided individual. There is every single human has their highlights and their lowlights. Every single human does. So you need to get clear on non-negotiables for goals. It can be values as well. The things that are non-negotiables to you could look like this. Do you want kids together? Because if one partner has their heart set on having children, the other partner never wants fucking children, can you see how that's a conflict? It's not aligned. Say one partner wants to do self-growth and self-development, and the other partner thinks it's a cult and a scam and they've got nothing to work on. Can you see the conflict? Say one partner loves to look after their health and be healthy and wants to be with someone who's healthy. The other person hates health and never wants to look after their health. See the conflict. I just gave you 3 of my non-negotiables, just so you know. But you got to get clear on your non-negotiables. That's step 2. And be brutally honest. Don't suppress. Don't bite your tongue. Speak your fucking truth. Step number 3. Both partners learn the dance of how to support and challenge your partner towards the vision. That last step is kind of the conversation we're having today. But I'm giving you guys the whole sort of view on everything. Excuse me. Then I'm going to zoom in on that last step. So let me refresh. Number 1, both partners individually take ownership. Don't blame, don't project, all that stuff. Just a side note as well, there's a difference between triggers and boundaries. If you get activated and triggered, it's something within you. But a boundary is a standard and an expectation you hold your partner to. But if you get triggered in the way that you communicate and you're still triggered, it's something for you to work on, even if they may have overstepped a boundary. I use this silly example all the time. So I'm in my office right now. A boundary that I have for my loving wife is when my door is closed, don't come in. That's a boundary. Don't come in. Because I'm working. I'm filming a podcast right now. I'm maybe with clients. They may be being vulnerable and all this stuff, whatever. Say she barges in right now and I turn around and I get fucking angry and I snap at her. I get triggered and I say like, get the fuck out of here. La, 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 la. That's me. That's my trigger. Even though she did overstep a boundary, I still got triggered by it. So the trigger is something for me to address and to work on. Second is the boundary part, because why couldn't I say, hello, my love, is everything okay? Look, I'm busy right now. I'll be with you in 10 minutes. Because the first time I got triggered, the second time was a healthy enforcement of a boundary. Okay, so just a side note, I'm not diving deep into that today, but there are differences between triggers and boundaries. Number 1, both partners take ownership. Number 2, you have alignment with the non-negotiables for your vision. Number 3 is you learn how to support and challenge each other towards the vision. Let's zoom in on that now, because the whole conversation today is how to navigate trauma in relationships in a healthy way. So there's 2 parts to this part. There is during the trigger and there's after the trigger. I talk about 2 types of healing tools. So I love healing transformation, as you can probably tell. So modalities to heal or to work on yourself, I put them into 2 buckets or 2 categories. The first category is maintenance tools. These tools is what we do in the moment to get through a trigger. So when you get triggered, when you get dysregulated, when you go into a stress response, when you're anxious, when you're overwhelmed, when you're not in balance, when you're not in homeostasis, what do you do to come back into balance? What do you do to come back into a connected, regulated state? My favorite tools, just to give you a couple, breath work, fantastic. Reframing, it's an NLP tool, reframing the situation. Eye gazing is fantastic. A diaphragm reset. So my favorite, I actually put 3 together. I do breath work. I do a diaphragm reset. So essentially you push into your diaphragm, breathe, slow down your breath, relax, and center yourself. And then you reframe the situation. So I put those 3 together. That's my favorite maintenance tool. You could do grounding. Go stand on the grass if you can. It is to change your state. So if anyone's done any Tony Robbins work, he says, change your state, make your move. If you know, you know. It's an NLP tool. You could do eye gazing, as I mentioned. You could do toning. So you open up and actually like hum, sing. You can do some form of movement. So like moving your body, doing a push-up, doing a squat, going for a walk around the block. That you could do, I've got a list of them. I'm having a bit of a blank right now. There's 8 that I teach at my events that I teach clients how to do. How do you connect with yourself and come back into balance and come back into homeostasis in the moment? Because when you're triggered, it's not the time to heal. It's not the time to heal. It's let's get through the storm. Let's get through the trigger. Then we can reflect back afterwards to find what was triggered. And then we use a progress tool, which is the other type of tool, to integrate and heal what was triggered so it stops getting triggered. I hope that made sense. So number 1 is maintenance tools, breath work, diaphragm reset, eye gazing, grounding, soothing, havening, tremoring, the couple other tools that I teach. Second is progress tools. When you identify what was triggered to start with, which will be trauma or a limiting belief, and we do a process on whatever it was to integrate that wound or to heal that wound so it doesn't get triggered again. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense. Those are the 2 types of tools. So let's play this out. You get triggered by your partner tomorrow. We're not going to then solve the problem. We're not going to heal right then and there. We want to learn how to regulate ourselves in the moment. Because guess what? It's going to happen. You can't avoid this shit. If you're like, I want to be in a relationship where I'm never triggered, stay single. Like, it's not going to happen. You're going to get triggered. So you got to learn this shit. So in the moment when you're triggered, first is awareness. That's the first part. You can't be held accountable to something you're not aware of. Become conscious that you're triggered. And honestly, that's a big part of this. Like, just a side tangent for a moment. So many people live in a state of stress and anxiety and overwhelmed. You don't even know what your balance mark is. You don't know what neutral is for you. You're like constantly stressed, constantly anxious, constantly overwhelmed. You actually just don't know what baseline is. So learning to actually regulate and heal yourself, you can actually become so sensitive and aware of when you're out of balance, when you're triggered, when you're in a stress response. So just a little side note. So let's continue. When you get triggered next, which may be today, tomorrow, the next day, give it fucking a week. You'll get triggered. Guarantee it. And not just relationships, obviously, in life, but I'm referring mainly to relationships today. But in general, when you get triggered, regulate yourself. Become conscious, then slow down your breathing. I do the box breathing. You breathe in for 5, hold it for 5, let it out for 5, and just repeat that for a while. You can do a diaphragm reset. You push your fingers into your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is like an inch or 2 below your sternum, which is the bony part of your chest. I teach this in my coaching. Breathe, regulate through the storm. Come back to neutral. Then you want to self-reflect and ask yourself, what triggered me into that triggered response, that coping mechanism? What triggered me into that to start with? It will be a character trait or a behavior, which is trauma, which is insert those words that we did at the start of this podcast. Or it will be a belief of yours. It's a limiting belief. You're telling yourself something. I'm a piece of shit. I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I'm not worthy. Life is scary. I'm going to fail. I'm a loser, whatever belief it is. You want to find the trait or the trauma or find the limiting belief, then do a process on that. How do you do that? Come work with me. I'll give you the processes, okay? So you want to heal and integrate that stuff. How can this play out in relationships? Let's use an example. Say I'll use me and Georgia, actually, my wife. So there's been times where my wife gets triggered and I'm able to stay neutral and regulate and help her through that. So I help soothe her, make her feel seen and safe and loved and supported, and help her through the trigger to then help her find what was triggered to start with. And then we support her and hold her accountable to go do a process on that. There's been times where the roles were flipped, where I've been triggered and she's stayed really neutral and she's held a safe space. She's loved me, she's soothed me, and she's got me through the trigger, but then she holds me accountable to go to a process on it. And then the third angle, which is what a lot of people experience, when you both get triggered, you trigger each other and you're into like a trauma bonding moment where you're just projecting each other's shit onto each other. In those moments, it's not always easy. Do the best you can to get through the storm, get through the trigger without saying too many hurtful things. Because when you get if you're not aware of this, when you get triggered, you regress back to how old you were when you first received the trauma. You literally become a fucking child. You spit the dummy. And you spat the dummy before. I know you have. So have I. So that's where you want to do your best. Try and minimize any like hurtful things you say and whatever you yell and whatever happens. Try and minimize that. I'm a human. I've done it too. I've said some hurtful things to my wife when I've been fucking triggered into a trauma response. I've done that. So once you regulate, get through it, soothe, do whatever you need to do, learn the tools, come work with me if you want some extra help with that. Do what you need to do to help each other through the storm, regulate, soothe, have some distance, go stand on the ground. I'll give you an example. So we had one probably about 2 years ago. We were in the kitchen downstairs at our house. I forget what the actual trait was, but I remember we got really triggered with each other. She said something that really hurt me, like really got me good. And I was fucking triggered. I was like fuming. And I just needed some space. But then George has had a wound around abandonment and rejection. So in fights or in triggered moments, we've communicated that what do you need in a trigger response? So another side tip for you guys. Ask your partner, what do you need when you're triggered? Do you want space? Do you want closeness? What do you want? My wife wants space, but doesn't want me to leave. So she wants space to just sit with herself, but she doesn't want me to go away from her because that's abandoning her, rejecting her. But there was a time, and mine is the opposite. I want space to process. In general, your more masculine-driven people want space to process and to solve their problems, where the more feminine wants love and safety and all that stuff. So again, extra side note. Anyways, I got triggered, and I was like really triggered. And I'm like, babe, I'm like fuming right now. We've got like glass windows, glass doors where we are. I said, babe, I'm going out there to stand on the grass because I need to fucking regulate right now. I'm not abandoning you. I'm not leaving you. I just need some space. Please honor and respect my boundary because I need to regulate. I went out there, stood on the grass, I was just breathing, grounding, doing a diaphragm reset, getting through, regulate, get through the storm. Then we came back and I was back into neutral. She was still a little bit triggered. So then I helped her get through the trigger. What do you need from me right now? Safety. How can I make you feel safe right now? How can I love you right now? What do you need right now? And then she got through the trigger and we got through the storm. Then we go, okay, what did I do to trigger you? What did you do to trigger me? We both take individual ownership of the trait or the trauma, whatever it was, and then we support and hold each other accountable to go do a process on whatever came up. Because if you don't address that, the same wound will pop up again. That's where you keep repeating the same problems until you learn the lessons that it's there to teach you. That part there is the dance. That is the real reality of being in conscious relationships, where you're going to reveal each other's shit. You can't avoid this part. It's going to happen. Making sure that you have those two first pieces that you need of the relationship, a healthy relationship. Number one, both partners take responsibility. Number two, you're aligned with your visions. If you don't have those two parts, you're not going to be able to do the last step because you're trying to turn someone into someone they don't want to become. One partner isn't taking responsibility. They're just blaming you or you're doing the same thing back to them. So you got to have those two pieces in order to do the third piece. And this is what the third piece can look like. It's regulate yourself through the trigger. Don't try heal or integrate whilst you're triggered. Get through the storm, get through the trigger by regulating, soothing, grounding, whatever you need to do, get through the trigger. Take ownership that you got triggered. Remember, triggers versus boundaries. If you're triggered, it's you. It's something for you to work on. Boundaries is a standard you hold your partner to and you hold yourself to as well. Find whatever was triggered, then go to a progress tool on the trigger or the wound or the limitation. For me, I have all of those tools. I can teach you all the maintenance tools, all the healing tools, if you would love to work with me. I'd love to know your thoughts on this conversation, because if you do not get this part, you'll either suppress your shit and not bring it up, which leads to resentment, frustration. It can lead to cheating, to divorce, to just resistance in your relationship. So please don't go down that pathway. The other pathway is you guys just keep projecting your shit onto each other and you never solve the root cause. So you're just going to continue that indefinitely and often the relationship will just end. But when you can find the way to actually do this in a healthy way, holy shit, you will grow more than anywhere else inside your relationships. You'll be able to reflect each other's stuff, whether you like it or not, you're going to. You'll be able to find what's being reflected, what's being revealed within you, so you get to heal from it. I say one of the greatest purposes and gifts of a conscious relationship is you will heal faster than anything else. You'll be initiated into it more than anything else. That's the gift of a conscious relationship. I hope you got value from today. Please comment down below if you got some value. If you'd like to work with me, guys, a couple ways. Grab a copy of my book. It's a great starting point. Or grab a free trial down below. You get a one-on-one call with me when you grab a trial. It's only $49 a month if you want to stick around. And you get all of my tools to do this stuff. I teach it to you step by step. And you can use it as often as you want. You can cancel whenever you want. Massive favor, guys. Please like, please subscribe. Please share this if you got some value. I'll do my best to get back to all the comments. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great day. See ya.